Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The big one is out. Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to the All-American ARCA Series tonight. We're at the virtual Talladega Super Speedway for the Talladega 249. 94 laps, 85% fuel, 3 sets of tires behind pit road, and 0 fast repairs. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. As right now we're waiting for qualifying to wrap up for our competitors. Looks like about 26, 27 drivers making their way out here tonight. So not the crazy packed grid we've seen at super speedways in the past, but still a fairly healthy amount of drivers as we're going to get ready and send them out for today's main event. And do I see this right? Yes, I do. Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian, starting on pole. David Westergreen starting second. Casey Carrington starting third. DJ Weeks Jr. starts fourth. Zach Rogers fifth on the grid. Then a little bit further back, you got Ron White starting sixth. Mike Husby starting seventh. Matthew Weeks running eighth. Alex Penn running ninth. The number 30 machine. Finley Fitzsimmons starting 10th. John Locke starting 11th. Robert Hill Jr. starting 12th. Let's cycle the grid back just a little bit to Craig Martin starting 13th. Cody McCorkle starting 14th. Greg Carr 15th on the grid. Brad Delph starting 16th. David Tooker starting 17th. Nick Martin starts 18th. Jacob Fest-Cannon starts 19th. Adam Tepe starting 20th. Alex Carr starting 21st. Devin Scroggins 22nd. Michael Vandermeet starts 23rd. Justin Ray starting 24th. We've got Radburn Shutters starting 25th. James SoundCloud Silver starts 26th. And Nick Terrell starting 27th to round out the field here today. As let's get ready to go racing. Now, interesting point of topic. McAllister ran the All-American ARCA Truck Series on Wednesday and also qualified on pole. So maybe McAllister finding his stride in super speedways, at least the qualifying. But keep an eye out on the 888 machine, the Outback painted livery. If he finishes in the top spot tonight, finishes first, he's buying all of the production team a bloomin' onion. So I personally am cheering for the young Australian. Let's see if he can follow through with it. Good to see fans tune in both on YouTube and Twitch. We've got Jake Bishop cheering on the 66 machine. Joseph Penn just hoping for a bloomin' onion. And the Scrubby Scrub over on Twitch also cheering on Gareth McAllister. As we are gridded up, let's see what's going to happen. Robert Hill Jr. join us from inside the car. A little bit of texting and driving going on, but hey, we are under yellow flag conditions. It's not until you hit about that 200-mile-an-hour mark you want to keep both hands on the wheel, because the speeds will be high here at Talladega, and the wrecks will be absolutely fantastic. Not if, but when they finally appear. As always, let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on, because without you guys, we would not have much of a show. Wait for that iRacing safety car to come down pit road. McAllister and Westergreen on that front row. Carrington and Weeks right behind. That's just a dreadful camera angle. There we go. And here we go, the green flag is out for the Talladega 249, sponsored by Open Group. Looks like McAllister not getting the launch he was looking for. Westergreen trying to take over an early lead as everybody gets up to speed, but McAllister starting to get back on the gas with Casey Carrington right behind him, the number 9 machine. Westergreen has DJ Weeks Jr., the number 97, right behind him on the outside line, as we're going to go too wide as far back as the eye can see. Let's see what's going to happen here. Who's going to be patient and who's going to push a little bit too early, as is usually the norm here at super speedways. Now, these ARCA machines do not bode well for bump drafting. We got fans from New Zealand join us here tonight. We've got wherever Robert Hill Jr. is from. As man, oh man, look at the run from Westergreen on the outside line, with Weeks tucked in behind him, but McAllister and Carrington stay right there in hot pursuit. The field seems pretty happy here. Now look towards the back. You've got about 4 or 5 cars kind of taking it easy, not trying to throw themselves in the mix. Those may be the guys you see come out on top towards the end. As a reminder, we do not have any fast repairs here at All-American ARCA. So if you find yourself wadding it up early on in the night, oh, that's not good. McAllister with a big blink. As I was saying, if you find yourself with a wadded up race car early on in the night, you are pretty much done for the evening, especially at a track that's so reliant on aero. And speaking of aero, the front of these ARCA cars are much lower than the rear bumper, so if you try and give your friend a hearty shove from behind, as you would in maybe some of the more accustomed to NASCAR machines, very easy to hook that back bumper and send your friend careening around. The outside line has seemed to be just a little bit faster, as it's Westergreen, Weeks, and White running single file on the outside line. Carrington and McAllister still on the inside groove. You've also got the number 4 of Zach Rogers in the Jim Beamed backed machine in that single file, but still too wide, about 12, 13 rows deep if I had to call it. Now, I think it's interesting as well. Westergreen, if he wanted to in the 55 machine, could just as easily drop down that inside line, but I'm thinking he's going to stay up there with Westergreen. And, oh, what's this? We've got somebody making something happen. That's Robert Hill Jr. That I believe was way down the inside line. Fitzsimmons comes down pit road. No, it's Fitzsimmons. Getting ready for a pit stop. Not entirely sure the how or the why. Fitzsimmons must have something going on. Maybe we'll get a report back from race control on what on earth's happening to the lone British driver out on track. As the field still fairly bunched up, McAllister and Westergreen putting on a show up front, not having any issues. Now McAllister was worried about his blinking, his connectivity issues tonight, as he did have a few big moments in qualifying. We were actually trying to help spot check him to make sure the Aussie wasn't going to have any issues. Thankfully, so far tonight, it looks like he's having a fair bit of luck. So now McAllister working the inside groove, not having too many issues, rocking and rolling. As the field's still relatively bunched up. Everybody in the lead lap except for Fitzsimmons, who maybe did a drive-through penalty. I'm not entirely sure why on earth we'd see the British driver come down pit road. As McAllister holding on for dear life again. I'm rooting for him. I've got a bloomin' onion at stake if the McAllister can make something happen. As we get a heads up from race control at the bottom of your screen, the 06 Fitzsimmons receiving a drive-through for an illegal lane change on the start. Now that doesn't mean he didn't use his blinker. That means you have to maintain your position on track. So if you start off high, you can't go low until you cross the start-finish line for that initial start, and vice versa naturally. So Fitzsimmons, unfortunately with the penalty, he's going to be hoping for a caution here to try and get back up with his pack. Because if you lose the draft here at Talladega, you've got quite the long night ahead of you. We'll try and give you updates later on the race to see if Fitzsimmons able to overcome that self-imposed penalty he's earned. So that explains why we saw Fitzsimmons coming down pit road in an inopportune time. As Westergreen still out front, Weeks right there with him. McAllister holding on dearly for the inside line. As it looks like, oh, I thought Westergreen was hinting at coming down, but I don't think he's going to leave Weeks up there high and dry. And while we have a moment, we want to give a quick shout out to our race control tonight. We've got Joseph Penn and Jumpin' Johnny Eckert both in the booth making the calls as needed to make sure our drivers are well behaved, or as well behaved as you can get from race car drivers. And look at that, Carrington goes to the outside line to tuck in behind David Westergreen and DJ Weeks Jr. So now Zach Rogers is going to move up the inside line, try and give his support to the Australian. But that outside line has a massive run seems like the outside line maybe just a little bit faster. I can't tell if the line's faster, if maybe that just groove of drivers, that line of drivers to be more apt, able to link up nose to tail a little bit more smoothly as you see the inside line starting to wiggle and shimmy around. That's Alex Penn, the number 30 machine, who's hopped in behind Zach Rogers. McAllister still holding on out front. But Westergreen with a massive run. So McAllister looking for a win or possibly a series best. Now, admittedly, I know he qualified on pole for the All-American Truck Series that runs on Wednesdays. Not entirely sure how he did, though. And I truthfully don't want to go look, as it allows me to keep believing in the young Australian driver, but that inside line starting to stall out as Westergreen and Weeks are mighty clear. The 888 machine, Carrington holding on to the outside line as well, side by side with the pole setter. And I think it's very indicative that the outside line is indeed faster, as we have not seen those drivers decide to drop down the inner lane like you would with other tracks such as Daytona. So the middle groove seems to be the fastest way around, at least so far tonight. So McAllister, at this point, if he can finish higher than 17th, it will be a season best finish. He's got 2 17th finishes, one at Nashville, one at Milwaukee. Now, his last super speedway that he ran here at the All-American ARCA Series was way back at Daytona, where he started 28th and finished 24th. But look at him go. A big run on the inside line. Now, I'm almost curious at this point, are we going to see McAllister go high and maybe try and get on the top groove? Now, we're expecting the fuel window to be around 35 laps, but that'll be a little bit shorter for Westergreen and McAllister, who have been leading their respective lines the entire race. They're going to burn a little bit more fuel than, say, TJ Weeks or Zach Rogers, who are second in line. Even more fuel saving available to the drivers third, fourth, fifth, as they've got much more machines pushing the air out of their way. And very shortly, we're going to have lap traffic to contend with Fitzsimmons. We got our good friend Carter Lenz tuning in. Great seeing Carter. Always fun watching him race. Glad to see him out supporting. That's Fitzsimmons goes high to let the race leaders by. A white knuckle moment for all parties involved, especially the mid-pack heroes right now, who can't really see anything besides the front bumper squarely in front of them. Give you a good shot to let you know just how hectic things are getting for our drivers. Now, we got a great question from one of our Twitch viewers, Scrubby Scrub, asking, hey, what lane should these guys be in? And that's tough for me being up here in the booth. Right now, from my eye in the sky, it looks like the outside, that middle lane, has been a little bit faster, but it is very dependent on who you can get linked up with. Getting as close as physically possible, nose to tail, without shoving the guy in front of you and send him careening around. Because last time by, or this time by, it was Westergreen 0.07 of a second ahead of McAllister. But keep an eye on the 888 machine. Closes the gap and pulls the lead once more. Now, if this was the last lap of this 94-lap main event, I would say I would prefer to be up front in the middle groove, get a big run, and then chop the nose off from everybody behind you. So right now you can see Westergreen just about clear of the 888. If this was the last lap, he could drop down, throw a block on McAllister, and try and hold on to the lead. But what they're going to do right now is stay in that middle groove, not put themselves in the vortex of danger. And Westergreen, I believe, will still get the credit for the lap led. Yes, he does crossing the line. Actually shows McAllister third, but watch what happens here. McAllister on the inside line, able to make the track just a little bit smaller as Westergreen hops out of the groove there. So McAllister, by the time they come out of 2, historically has been side by side with Westergreen. But it looks like his run's going to stall just ever so slightly, not getting the support from Zach Rogers he's looking for. And look at this. Here comes the number 11 machine of Matthew Weeks saying, all right, enough's enough. To the front we go, boys, as we're 3 wide. And starting to get a couple rows deep, so drivers getting a little bit antsy. The third groove starting to form up. McAllister staying on that inside line like his life depends on it. A very good call, I would say. Westergreen leading the middle groove. Carrington all the way up top against the wall. And this is what we like to see, except for McAllister blinking. That's not what we like to see. But we are 3 wide at Talladega and about 4 or 5 rows deep. Not even to our first fuel window. So drivers really getting antsy, wanting to make some moves here. But if we're going to see tragedy strike, I think it's going to be pretty shortly, as now it's Weeks dropping down the inside groove. He'll go 3 wide with Westergreen and Carrington. McAllister a big run on the inside line. Now surely this will eventually end up poorly for all parties involved. But we've seen some massive runs here in the past, but it just takes one mistake. As I say that, we've got a driver all the way down. That was Zach Rogers, the number 4 machine. Well done to Rogers, though, able to woe it up to avoid careening back out in the field, who's still 3 wide. If Rogers wasn't able to hold on to there, if he didn't have the skill, we were about to clean out the entire racetrack in one swift motion. As we are still 3 wide. Weeks and Westergreen really leading the charge here on the bottom and middle groove. Carrington finds himself about 2 car lengths back, leading the high side party. Now, if we can keep going 3 wide to a green flag pit stop, I will absolutely lose it up here in the booth. As, man, what a beautiful shot that is. Three wide, looks to be a very solid 4 rows deep for every line. The inside line, got a lot of drivers kind of watching to see what's going to happen here. Again, I think that's a large portion of guys expecting a big crash to come out, and with no fast repairs available, the last thing you want to do is wad it up only 20 laps in. But I don't think anybody's told Westergreen, Carrington, or Weeks that, as they are making some moves. Look at that, Matthew Weeks kind of hinting at 4 wide behind Dave Westergreen. He's in the number 11 machine, wanting to get up there, get in the groove, and make something happen. He's made some big strides as he's up 3 positions early on tonight. And you'd never guess your current hard charger, Nick Terrell, the number 81 machine, he's sitting resoundingly now in 10th, going back and forth with John Locke in 11th. He is now up 17 positions tonight. And again, he's playing it very smart here, not pushing up too hard, not playing it too aggressive. Right now, drivers hitting speeds in this massive pack over 200 miles an hour around the wide open raceway at Talladega. But how long will we go without a big incident? Will we miraculously avoid the big one here tonight? Or is it just lying in slumber waiting to strike? As you've got a whole lot of fast drivers up here. I think DJ Weeks Jr., the 97 machine on the inside line, learning the same lesson that McAllister did. Very tough to get the run built up, as it looks like Westergreen has the checkup slide, getting maybe a little bit loose. Not sure if he got a push there from Matthew Weeks, number 11, or what may have transpired. As at the line, I think, oh, this is going to be tough. It's right now showing Carrington, your race leader, as they make their way around. DJ Weeks Jr., the 97 machine, able to squeeze the track just a little bit tighter, though. The same move we were seeing McAllister make just early on. Now McAllister has linked up with his teammate Alex Penn. Penn will be third in line on that inside groove. So as the run progresses, you'll start to see teammates maybe try and link up, make something happen. As look at Westergreen, resoundingly out front there, but DJ Weeks Jr. is going to have another big run on the inside line. Carrington's run stalls out slightly on the high groove. Now he could try and work the side draft here in that number 9 machine, but again, you want to keep yourself out of that vortex of danger. Last thing you want to do is Bennett collect the whole field at 200 miles an hour, and it might be down to a 5-car rodeo if that happens with how tight these guys are running, but they're up front for a reason. They have the skill, they have the talent. Now they just got to keep the heart rates down and keep charging forward. We got about maybe 10 more laps before our first scheduled green flag stop, when we're expecting drivers to come careening down to pit road. I've got to say, I'm excited for that. If we can get green flag stops with this type of racing, it will be a good day and an even better show. Matthew Weeks in the number 11 machine once more trying to show a little bit of aggressiveness behind Westergreen. Taking a peek to the inside line, not quite able to make it happen. Oh, the field all sorts of bunched up here. Carrington with the big run on the outside line, but Westergreen's going to hold on to it in that middle groove. Westergreen stayed committed to that middle groove for 25 laps so far. I don't think that 55 machine's going to show any sign of tucking out of it. Very consistent lap times. The entirety of the field running about that 50.6 to 50.8 lap times. Nobody able to really go anywhere forward too aggressively. Playing 200-mile-an-hour chess here as Carrington has another big run. He's accompanied by Ron White, the number 27 Phantom machine. Is Carrington going to drop down low in front of Westergreen? He hints at it, backs out of it. But maybe trying to measure up to 55. As we are going to go on board with Gareth McAllister. Not that angle. There we go. He's tucked in second in line behind DJ Weeks Jr. A good idea to show you just how frantic things are out on track. Despite how big the track is here in Alabama, not a lot of real estate when you've got drivers to your right, 2 rows deep. Man, oh man, are these guys digging deep here today. Nobody willing to yield. We've been 3 wide for the last many laps. And these guys are really pushing, trying to make something happen. Now, it's going to be very interesting as well to see if Carrington, who's been very consistently out front, will be able to get down to the inside line when he wants to come down to pit road, as he's got 2 lanes of other drivers that may be making that a little bit difficult for him. Now drivers will try and communicate when they want to come down pit road. Make life easier for everybody involved, drivers and race control, but sometimes if the track's not clear, the track's not clear. As look at the run from Carrington on the outside line. Who's it going to be at the line? Anybody's guess. It looks like it's going to be Carrington by 0.05 of a second. Ooh, Westergreen with a big blink in the 55. That'll cause Matthew Weeks to slightly back out of the number 11 machine. McAllister is also backed off of DJ Weeks Jr., who's leading on the inside line. Oh, if we can get some 3-wide pit stops, we are going to have a show here tonight. "30 laps in, 3 wide as far as the eye can see, and so far no cautions." We pull up the timing tower, the left side of your screen. Just as time is, look at that, Cody McCorkle, who kind of came out of nowhere. He's going to go to the high side as traffic is making their way around. I know why. That's Finley Fitzsimmons, the 06 machine. Going down, I believe that may be his second lap. Or, no, I think Fitzsimmons working his way back up towards the front, trying to unlap himself. Aiming to get back on the lead lap. That way if the caution does come out, when it comes out, he'll find himself in a better position. As now a large portion of the field trying to get down to that bottom groove. Westergreen still running that middle line, but Matthew Weeks is taking over the race lead, now up 7 spots in the number 11. So I think in the next 3-4 laps, you can see drivers trying to get that inside line to maybe get set up for their pit stops. And man, look at Fitzsimmons trying to unlap himself the good old-fashioned way in the pink and white 06 machine. McCorkle out there almost by his lonesome on the high side in the number 2. Easy does it, boys. Still haven't made to the first fuel stop of the night. The driver's going to be still a little bit patient here, not wanting to make any big gutsy moves, but with Fitzsimmons trying to unlap himself, I don't really know what's going to happen here. So for the first time tonight, Westergreen's hopped down the inside line. I would imagine to try and get set up for a green flag stop. As of yet, nobody dives down pit road. Fitzsimmons still trying to unlap himself in the 06 machine. Carrington right behind in the number 9 on that middle groove. So Fitzsimmons in the 06 machine is not battling for the race lead, just trying to get a lap back, but surely he knows he's in lucky dog contention, so if he does get the caution, with him being the lead driver a lap down, hey, the only driver a lap down, he would get the automatic wave around. But Westergreen holding on to that inside line. Matthew Weeks right behind him. Carrington, the number 9 machine, trying to move up to second, if not the race lead, using the draft from traffic to his advantage. As technically at this point, Fitzsimmons has unlapped himself, dipping in front of Westergreen. Got to give Fitzsimmons his credit, despite being a lap down, or formerly a lap down, able to cut back through the field despite that drive-through. And now Fitzsimmons will come down pit road with a whole slew of drivers behind him. Fitzsimmons, Westergreen, Sinnott sliding down. John Locke, Brad Delph, Shutters, Vandermeet, Silvers, Tepe, Husby, Scroggins, Ray. A large portion of the field, while your top, let's say half the field, the top 13 drivers opt to stay out here. Carrington will get a lap by the number 9 machine, but he may be coming in this time by. Let's see if Carrington opts to come in, or if he's going to try and stretch that fuel run out just a little bit longer. Sure looks like he's coming down pit road. There's Carrington, White, Weeks, McCorkle, Terrell, just about everybody inside the field. Oh no, around they go on pit road. We've got tragedy. Greg Carr's involved in that one. Alex, oh, the family members crashed into each other. Oh, Thanksgiving's going to be a little bit awkward here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try and get an instant replay on that one. The two car family members come careening in. Very slightly gets into Nick Terrell, and ooh, that is not ideal. So Nick Martin stays out. Expecting him to come in. Yep, there he goes. Oh, heavy on the brakes. Martin, way too late. Not sure if he got it slowed down in time, but Martin will come in a lap later. And I believe that's going to put Ron White, number 27 machine, possibly as your race leader, but he's got a lot of drivers charging around him with a whole lot of steam built up. As everybody tries to get back together out on track, look at the line from the outside. And it's James SoundCloud Silvers looking to get a lap by the number 17 machine. He's going to be up 24 spots, currently showing as your race leader. Fitzsimmons in the mix here as well, trying to unlap himself. Looks like I don't see any penalties on pit road. Everyone able to get in and out relatively cleanly, despite some of the shenanigans we saw there on the pit entry. Westergreen running that trademark middle groove of the number 55 machine with a massive run. He's accompanied by DJ Weeks Jr., Alex Penn. So that's going to put our next fuel window around lap 65 to 70, depending on when these drivers came in. The game, this is going to be a game of strategy here tonight. You don't want to come in by yourself, find yourself out on track without anybody to work with in that draft. As right now, your top 5, James SoundCloud Silvers, David Westergreen, John Locke, DJ Weeks Jr., and Alex Penn rounding out the top 5. Silvers in the inside line. Locke looks a little bit unsorted in the 34 machine, but able to hold on to it. You truly can't see much. You can just kind of see the rear view mirror, the bumper of the guy in front of you. And at 200 miles an hour, that tip-in point's over 200 miles an hour. We've got drivers such as McAllister hit a trap speed of 207 miles an hour his last time by. So at those speeds, things happen mighty quickly. And it's very easy to send yourself or a good friend bouncing around the asphalt here in Alabama. So it's still Silvers and Westergreen leading their respective lines. Locke and Weeks running second in the groove. Your third groove is Alex Penn and Fitzsimmons, who's going to have to try and unlap himself once more without a caution as of yet to make it easy. Very impressed with the driving we're seeing here tonight. We went 3 wide for 5, 6, 10 laps or so, and very, very clean out of the racers, not seeing too much over-aggressiveness. But as we get closer to the halfway mark, this is where driver attrition is going to play a factor. And those mistakes will start to compound, and things will get a little bit out of sorts, as they say. Those Silvers, yes, just confirmed. He's our current hard charger out on track, up 25 spots. We miraculously still have all 27 drivers out there pushing hard. With just one driver, the pink and white Fitzsimmons, 06, who finds himself a lap down, but we've already seen him unlap himself once. Let's see if he can do it again. Go on board with DJ Weeks Jr. run the high line here at Talladega. He's tucked in behind the 55 of Westergreen. Westergreen's been fast all night long and really staying on that middle groove as you see SoundCloud Silvers in the left side of your screen, the number 17 machine. Again, who's made massive strides up 25 positions. We've got Ethan join us as well. He's cheering on Matthew Weeks and David Tooker. Always great seeing him in every capacity possible. And again, thank you everybody tuning in both on YouTube and on Twitch tonight. Great to have the fans out here to help enjoy some great racing. Now we will be off tomorrow night for the Team Goon Squad broadcasting channels. We've got some real life trackside stuff to announce, but good to see everybody popping in throughout multiple broadcasts in the weeks. We definitely appreciate the guys that like the videos, who have subscribed to our channel, either for the iRacing or the real-life exploits of the Team Goon Squad crew. Without the good friends we made along the way, none of this would be possible. And it is always great getting together with the friends from all across the world. We've got New Zealand, America, Canada, and probably a couple of others who haven't chimed in yet tonight, supporting from all across the globe, and a couple international drivers out there tonight as well. We've got a spattering of Canadians, Robert Hill Jr., Craig Martin, Mike Husby out on track. We've got the lone Australian, Gareth McAllister in the 888, and I believe the lone Englishman, Finley Fitzsimmons in the 06, so it's the All-American ARCA Series, but we let the other guys in as well. Three laps shy of the halfway mark. Is anybody going to push too hard here? Or is everybody going to play it safe as Westergreen staying glued to that middle line? Almost a reversal of what we see in the past. I mean, every other super speedway and any other car, you kind of want to hog that bottom line as tight as you can. But tonight, it seems like the middle line's been the place to be for big runs. as we have about 15 drivers up inside the lead pack. Justin Ray's at the tail end of it. Then you have to go about 7 seconds back to Adam Tepe in the 96 machine. But not all is lost. As again, drivers, a lot of drivers at this point are going to still be hanging back and waiting for a late race caution to collect some race cars, as Silvers gets the credit for the lap led last time by. That number 17 machine absolutely moving tonight despite a dismal qualifying where he started 26th. Able to find his way up on the top spot. And I wonder if Silvers took 2 tires on that opening stop. He's in his pit stall for 13.4 seconds. Historically, a 4-tire stop will run you about high 14 to 15 seconds. As, oh, here comes traffic. That is the number 1 of Alex Carr. We saw him involved with that pit road snafu with Greg Carr in the 25. But the race leader's able to get by, managing traffic nice and clean. No worries there. This is almost identical to what we saw McAllister and Westergreen doing earlier, where McAllister was able to stay on that inside line, able to shorten the track ever so slightly, but Westergreen, with the support of DJ Weeks Jr. and now Alex Penn, have quite a bit of momentum on the high line. Last time by, it was Westergreen by about 3 to 400ths of a second, showing as getting the credit for the lap led, but we are past the halfway mark here tonight. I still think it's anybody's guess. I think anybody out on track, realistically, if they don't have damage, which I think it just may be Alex Carr who possibly has damage. Oh, here we go. I said it too soon. Silvers gets hit, and around they go. It's going to be carnage here. Oh, man, Mike Husby gets collected as well. Just so many innocent bystanders. And the big one is finally out with Silvers getting turned too aggressive of a bump draft, and around goes Silvers to bring out the first major caution of the night, and things have just gotten ugly very quickly. There's going to be some hurt feelings. Look at that. Silvers gets too hard of a shove. Alex Penn, DJ Weeks Jr. gets collected. Who's that? Number 5 machine gets absolutely launched to orbit. That was Radburn Shutters. Nick Terrell involved in that one. You see Husby just get tipped. He goes around. There was a firefight. Silver's not looking too worse for wear here. Trey Holmes joined us on YouTube saying what I'm thinking. Can't push in the ARCA cars. A very good way to find yourself acquainted with a wall somewhere, somehow. Watch that one once more from an All-American ARCA blimp cam. Look at the bottom left. Little bit of contact. Around they go. Radburn Shutters gets launched after getting hit from front and behind, and Silvers gonna be hitting everything except the concession stand after that one. Oh man, just absolute carnage out there on track. And we will cycle them in for their first stop. First caution of the night. Gonna be interesting to see who survived that one without damage, as that collected a whole lot of fast guys. Ron White in and out of his pit stall less than 10 seconds. He didn't take 4 tires. He wants the track position. Now, historically, you would think that the top spots are usually the safest. And yeah, we get confirmation from race control. The number 34 machine will receive the EOL for causing the incident. So he will go back to the end of the line. That will, of course, be John Locke. Locke, I believe, a newcomer here at All-American ARCA, so was running great, but unfortunately just pushed a little too much. And a tragedy was caused by the New York native. So for this restart, oh, here's a good question. Did Fitzsimmons get through that nice and clean to get his lucky dog? So as far as extended pit road stays go, Alex Penn, innocent bystander, he's going to be in there for a while. Justin Ray, DJ Weeks Jr., and possibly Gareth McAllister in the 888 machine. All down pit road to think about where things went poorly. McAllister has about 2.5 minutes left on optional repairs, so I think he's going to stay in, or at least stay in until the field makes their way around. Maybe try and stay on the lead lap, but it's going to be so tough if you have damage on a track that is so dependent on aerodynamics, as McAllister does roll back out on track and stay on the lead lap. It's so tough to try and go out there with a wounded race car and hold on to it. Now you know who's got to be pumped right now. David Westergreen, the 55 machine. He just saw a whole lot of fast competitors get instantly wiped out in the blink of an eye. Over on Twitch, we got Scrub asking, I think McAllister got shoved into the wall, and I've got to agree, maybe even a better word would be punted, murdered, destroyed. The Australian just got hit from behind and nowhere to go, and boom, there he goes. Now we are 1 to go, so we'll start getting gridded up double file. Got Jeremy Barber join us over on the YouTube side of things. Always good seeing him as well. So let's get ready to send them back out. Now, we're still going to have these drivers short on fuel if we go green, which I'm a little bit hesitant to say we will. If they can stretch it out to lap 85, 86 before they have to come down pit road, they're still going to be about 8 laps short. But cautions breed cautions. Who's going to survive the restack at Talladega? Looks like 25 drivers out on track. 24 on the lead lap. Fitzsimmons did get his lap back. But everyone came in on lap 49. And the green flag flies once more. Here we go. Back to racing at the Talladega 249 presented by Open Group. White with a spectacular launch. And look at that, here comes Tooker. Maybe took it 3 wide, didn't really plan to. The inside line of Westergreen with a massive run. Cody McCorkle's tucked in behind him. And Tooker just getting left out to dry with absolutely no draft support. Making his way around turns 3 and 4. He's able to tuck back in behind Carrington. Up front, It's going to be McCorkle on the inside line. Westergreen goes back to his preferred middle groove. Ron White on the high line, accompanied by Carrington. And for the first time tonight, Westergreen's going to see more than a few drivers in front of him, as he's got absolutely no support in the middle groove. White and Carrington come down. Tooker still on the high line. Carrington right in the thick of it. Westergreen goes back middle. And now it'll be White and McCorkle on the front row to decide who's going to get a lap led here past the halfway mark. Alex Penn joined us in the spectator area over on YouTube after he got it out of the virtual cockpit. Reminding the fans, you can't push in the ARCA cars, much less in a corner at 200 miles an hour. But hey, what do you do? That's racing. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail, and at super speedways, we call it the draft lottery to see who's going to come out at the end of it. Three wide once more. Tooker still trying to get the outside line formed up with Zach Rogers in tow, but Ron White in the middle groove making strides with Carrington right behind him. Now, Alex Penn saying he's going to get back out on track here relatively shortly. Try and salvage some points as that middle groove by Ron White once again charges forward, trying to get clear of McCorkle on the inside line. Now, I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised we're able to go green so quickly. Once you get the field stacked back up, it's very easy for drivers to see what they think is easy positions in front of them and starts charging forward very aggressively. Thankfully, it looked like the drivers played it a little bit safe here and didn't make anything happen too early. White has a whole lot of momentum in the number 27 machine. That high line still only 3 cars strong, but Fitzsimmons has worked his way back into 10th after that very early lap 1 penalty for the illegal lane change. So the Flying Brit getting something dialed in. But we're still going to go 3 wide. It looks like Tooker's going to be about a car length back on the high side, but trying to get up alongside Ron White, who's leading the middle groove. And then it's going to be Cody McCorkle on the inside line, number 2 machine. Matthew Weeks running 5th on track, the number 11. David Tooker currently showing 3rd, leading his respective line. He's accompanied by Zach Rogers. Ron White in the middle line, getting help from Casey Carrington. And the number 2 of Cody McCorkle has Matthew Weeks giving him his support. So we're 3 wide, about 3 rows deep as McCorkle Tooker trying as hard as he can on the outside line to get some steam built up. He just have Rogers and Fitzsimmons behind him, but it looks like more are coming to the rescue. There's John Locke in the 34 machine, working his way back up after the EOL, after that first caution. He may have come down pit road just to wipe the paint of James Silver's rear bumper off and get back out there. Very impressed with how clean these guys have been thus far despite those incidents. Got Jippery Slim saying Matthew Weeks, his favorite driver, out on track and doing relatively well here. The number 11 machine, second in line on the inside line behind McCorkle. And it looks like Tooker's starting to get some momentum up on the high line. Bit of a risky spot to be, though. If there's any mistakes to his left-hand side, not any room at all to make adjustments and try and save yourself. And that raises a good question. We went ahead and put up a poll here for our YouTube viewers. Let us know, for those that are cheering on the YouTube side of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, what line do you think is fastest out here at Talladega? Got three options: the inside groove, the middle line, and against the wall. Let us know what you're thinking, as we've got just about 33 laps left to go. Got somebody down on the apron, not sure what, why, or how. Could possibly be lap traffic just hopping out of the way. It's McAllister, Shutters, and Penn who are down low. I think that may have been Penn, who was trying to get back up to speed, but he's got to be careful to make sure he can maintain the minimum safe speed out on track. Oh, we just got a report from Scrub, who's cheering in, tuning in, and also watching Gareth McAllister, the Triple H stream. He's live on Twitch as well. And due to lag, McAllister lost a lap. He blinked out at the most inopportune time, and iRacing decided the lead lap is where he no longer belongs. So McCorkle, the inside line, White running the middle groove, still dicing it out here. And these guys absolutely flying down here at Talladega. Ooh, everybody jumping around trying to find a spot, make something happen. Right now, 67% of our viewers saying the inside line is where you want to be. 33% saying against the wall is the fast way around. And a resounding nobody is saying the middle line is the fastest. Look at that. There goes Nick Terra on the outside line. says, you know what? I'll try it out in the Doritos-backed race car. As he is our hardest charger for a reason. He's up 22 spots, now running 5th. He qualified 27th. So good to see him out here making some big moves. Looks like Tooker is going to give him the support. Ooh, Terrell getting dangerously close to the outside wall. But man, oh man, look at the run from Terrell. From 27th to now showing up front. The Doritos machine absolutely flying. Will Terrell stay on the high side, or is he going to try and drop down low in front of Ron Weiss, number 27 Phantom machine, if the opportunity arises? But it looks like things are getting a little bit hectic up front. Drivers starting to lose that patience. Seeing their competitors make big runs, then thinking, you know what? I want a piece of that. Terrell, though, trying as hard as he can on the outside line. Still 3 wide. David Tooker right on the back bumper of the 81 machine. Beautiful display of car control here tonight. These guys are absolutely driving the wheels off. And look how close Terrell's getting to that outside wall. Almost thought he tagged it there. Wide, anywhere between 3 to 5 rows deep. And McCorkle runs strong out front. A lot of the fans betting heavily on Tooker out there tonight. He's currently showing 6, but still I think anything can happen as you've got drivers trying to get settled into some sort of groove. I'm impressed Nick Terrell making such big ground in the 81 machine, but hopefully that's not a sign of foreshadowing, because that's the same thing we saw from SoundCloud Silvers early on in the race, and he got absolutely obliterated. Now Silvers has worked his way back up to 14, so not all is lost, able to salvage a bit of an evening here. And that is one of the saving graces about pack racing. If you find yourself damaged, but you can tuck in behind a bunch of drivers going 2, 3 wide, the aero damage not necessarily as noticeable. But when you try and hop out of the groove with a big run yourself, it's like throwing a parachute out the window. As Terrell's lost his draft support on the high side, he's going to be all by himself. As McCorkle still charging in the number 2 machine. He's got Matthew Weeks right behind him. Ron White on the middle groove. We've also got Adam Tepe in the number 96. He's riding around in 4th, up 16 positions. And then there's Casey Carrington, the number 9 machine on the middle groove, as well as David Westergreen at 55. We saw Westergreen lead a whole lot of laps early on, so we know he's got the pace. Will he have the patience and the strategy to get up there towards the end? Now McCorkle and White running at the front of their respective lines will be burning a little bit more fuel than the guys behind them. I don't think you're going to see anybody fuel saving here to try and make it till the end, but we've seen crazier things happen. Not sure what's going to happen. McCorkle getting a little bit close to that inside line. That may allow Ron Wright. Yes, it is a big run, the number 27 machine. McCorkle is going to be able to answer with anything diving the inside line in turns 3 and 4. And Terrell still committed to the high line, the number 81 machine. He says, hey, you know what? It got me up 20 spots. Something's got to be working right up here. Very surprised none of our fans tonight have voted for the middle line. Everybody opting for either the inside group, 75% of our current voters, or against the wall with the remaining quarter. I may be in disagreement with the fans here tonight. To me, it looks like that middle line a little bit faster, able to keep the momentum up. But again, I think it really depends on who you can link up with nose to tail to make those big lunges and pushes forward. Who you can trust to run bumper to bumper that's not going to push you too hard and lift up that back end and send you careening around. Still side by side, there's Ron White and the number 27 bright orange Fanta. McCorkle and the red and chrome number 2 machine in the inside line. Very impressed just how far these guys have gone. Now we're expecting the fuel window to open up once more in about 10 laps. We don't think they can make it till the end here tonight. Let's see. I mean, White and McCorkle still going back and forth. There's traffic. One of the Carr family members, I believe, yes, Alex Carr, the number 1 machine, going another lap down here. Very well done, though, getting down on the apron, allowing these faster lines to make their way around. And not wanting to interfere with your race leader's current party going on up front. Right behind McCorkle, Chiefs corner number 2 machine. Absolutely ripping it. Everybody hitting speeds of in excess of 200 miles an hour. And no sign of slowing down. Now I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Normally drivers kind of take it easy and play it safe, but when you've got guys such as McCorkle, such as White, I mean, you've got Matthew Weeks, you've got Casey Carrington, all of these guys looking for their first win of the season. And Talladega, such a prestigious event to win, but I think when you get about the 10 laps left to go, you're going to see a lot of impatience from these drivers. And that is when the bodywork will most likely be sacrificed to the racing gods, at least to the super speedway gods. Now McCorkle gets a huge run on the inside. At one point, he had pulled 2 car lengths on White. Let's see if White, working the side draft against Matthew Weeks and McCorkle, able to pull that middle groove a little bit further forward as McCorkle, once again, dangerously flirting with that yellow line. If you grab too much of the apron, it gets that car just a little unsettled and spits you back up into the raceway. Great tight racing. Let's cycle back. It's Terrell, still your hard charger on track, but he was up here battling for the lead. Now he finds himself battling for 9th with Craig Martin and David Tooker. Tooker, another driver that was up front, was really working the high line, but not able to get the momentum he's looking for. So I think those guys are going to kind of fall back, plan their attack for late on the race. They know that third line has the speed, but you got to get some support to make it happen. Speaking of, look at Nick Martin. Has a big run, decides, you know what, 17 laps left to go, time to lick the stamp and send it. Martin is a debut driver. He's a fill-in driver for 2511 Racing. He's racing the car normally piloted by Chris Heller. So going to be interesting to see what the team orders were tonight. Was it, hey, go out there, do the best you can, or was it bring home a safe race car, a undamaged race car at the end of it? But with seeing Martin charge up towards the front now, battling for just inside the top 10, I think he's going for it because he's also linked up with Brad Delph in the number 14 machine. And they're saying, you know what, now's as good of a time as any to make some big moves before we have to come back down pit road for our final stop of the night. Now Martin, when he came in lap 49, we believe he took 4 fresh tires as well as a full fuel tank. So he may try to take a 2-tire stop, or just put in enough fuel to make it till the end and try and get some track position on pit road. Most drivers in front of him, we believe, only took 2 tires. So it'll be quite interesting to see how this one pans out, as here comes Martin. Still charging along the outside line, accompanied by Brad Delph. The 2 drivers working together and doing so very well. Only 2 cars in that party line. As now, Martin's going to go side by side with Ron Weiss, number 27, for the race lead. But that's where you see, oh, here we go. Green flag stops. Cody McCorkle's going to slide down pit road. It looked like somebody was crashing into pit road. It was Westergreen. Well, that's not the right way to do it, David. So he's going to drive on through, missing just about everything. Oh, no, he got hit. So look at this. Fitzsimmons trying to come down the 06 machine. Thought he was clear. The 22 opted to stay out. Gave a good old shove to Westergreen, and he goes for a wild ride here. And we will have our second green flag stop of the night. So it's going to be Nick Martin opting to stay out, as well as White, Delph, Carrington, Terrell, your current top 5. Narrowly avoiding a caution there, as David Westergreen got sent to the Shadow Realm trying to make his way down pit road. Martin's going to come down pit road. Looks like White and Carrington will follow suit. As everybody comes sliding down. Nick Terrell rolling out of pit road. Ron White does so as well. So it'll be White once again still out front, but keep an eye out because here comes Robert Hill Jr. in the 05 machine, who's still staying out. He came in on lap 50. And he's going to blitz by the field here. White on an alternative strategy. He should be able to go, I believe, maybe 2 or 3 more laps if he really wants to. So that'll be another driver hoping for a caution as the field intermingles behind him. As McCorkle, Weeks, Adam Tepe have quickly linked up nose to tail. This is 2nd through 4th on camera right now. And it looks like Hill's going to stay out for a little bit longer, but he's got a freight train of drivers working in tow behind him. Keep an eye out very, very quickly. You're going to see this 3-car party make their way around. Robert Hill Jr., the 05 Canadian-backed machine. There goes Hill on the high line. Knowing, hey, he's still going to have to pit at least once more here. And just like that, it looks like it's going to be a 3-car battle. McCorkle, Weeks, and Tepe have pulled they're 7/10 ahead of Robert Hill, who we know has to come down pit road. They are 3 seconds ahead of Ron White, who will have the fuel to go all the way out to the end. And look at this. McCorkle, Matthew Weeks, Adam Tepe were all in their pit stall for less than 8 seconds. McCorkle and Weeks less than 7 seconds. 12 laps left to go. Are we going to go to the end, or are we going to have those late race cautions that plague super speedway racing? And yes is the answer. As we catch John Locke involved in a crash, I believe it shows Tooker involved in that one, as well as, where's Tooker? There's Tooker. And Shutter's also involved in that one. What happened? Oh! Ron White, who was very, very fast, collected. There's poor Nick Terrell, who can't get a break. Let's watch what happened once more here. I can't tell if that bottom groove came up a little bit. Maybe Fescannon got into White, tough to tell. But look at the ride of the number 5 machine going pinballing around. That's poor Radburn Shutters. And then John Locke, David Tooker. Oh, it's almost after that. Look at this. It's after the first incident. When everybody's unsettled, everybody's holding on to it. Oh, look at that. The 34 got hit by Ron White. White got bounced up. And then poor Tooker. Oh, a hard hit for both Tooker and White. And that will bring out the second caution of the evening. The number 89 machine, Jacob Fescannon, will receive the EOL for the lap 83 incident. Oh, there's a yellow. Don't you worry, my viewers. The yellow was resoundingly out, and we're just enjoying some good old-fashioned crash highlights here at All-American ARCA. So second caution of the night, 10 laps left to go. Looking to be still about 25, 26 drivers on the lead lap. Ray Holmes says, right as I look away. Holmes, need you say more? Once again, taking a look at the replay. Let's back it up a little bit so you can see all the carnage. So it looks like, Fescannon was faulted for it, so keep an eye on the number 89 machine at the bottom of your screen. He comes up into White and causes a massive chain collision. Tooker so narrowly able to avoid it, did not, as he tries to hold on to it, comes across. John Locke gets absolutely pulverized there as well. And that was just enough for our second caution of the evening. 9 laps left to go. So we get a trackside report from Robert Hill Jr., an in-car report to be more apt there. He's saying he completely drove past his stall under green during the last pit cycle. That's why we saw Hill out front. And now he's going to see what he can do on 4 fresh tires for what could be the final start. I don't think it will be. I think we're going to see another late race caution. As now that we've bunched the field back up together, it'll be, I think, 7 laps left to go. And drivers knowing not a lot of time left to make something happen. So you're about to see a whole lot of aggressiveness out of these drivers. So it will be Cody McCorkle, Matthew Weeks on your front row, Adam Tepe, Michael Vandermeer your second row. And I believe Casey Carrington and Zach Rogers will be your third row for this restart. Now, next week, we'll be back for the Charlotte 200 at the Legacy Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to go 134 laps around the 1.5-mile world-famous Cookie Cutter Raceway. As let's see what McCorkle can do in the top spot. Is he going to stay in the bottom groove, or is he going to hop up in the middle groove? Right now, again, the fans on YouTube voting that the inside groove seems to be the way around here. And we're about to find out in what could be a 7-lap shootout, barring any late race cautions that'll put us into green-white checker conditions. Now, we do have 3 green-white checker attempts, basically overtime attempts here tonight, if it is required. Hopefully that will not be the case. Race car is in. Oh, what a long pause this is for our drivers. And the green flag is out for Cody McCorkle, Matthew Weeks on that front row. Let's see what they can do. 7 laps left to go in an absolute mad dash. You're about to see some big moves and possibly some bigger wrecks here. McCorkle staying on the inside line. Weeks with a big run on the middle groove. He's got Michael Vandermeer right behind him in the number 7, as well as Carrington. Third in line on that middle groove. Drivers playing a high-speed game of snake, trying to see who they can tuck in and who's going to have a little bit of weakness. As who's that? Is that the British driver Fitzsimmons on the high line? Yes, it is. He's going to try and make something in the third groove. But up front, McCorkle and Tepe going hard. Inside line has a big run. The outside line now has Vandermeer leading the charge. But here comes Matthew Weeks in the middle groove with Carrington right behind him. They're bobbing and weaving. Any mistake here is enough to clean out all these drivers. And the opening 88 laps will be for naught. Look at Matthew Weeks with a massive run the inside line. But Vandermeer as well as McCorkle trying to answer on their outside of Matthew Weeks. McCorkle has the run on the inside line accompanied by Adam Tepe. But it's still anybody's guesses right now. Vandermeer technically shows as your race leader as they charge down the backstretch, 3 wide, about 5 rows deep. Everybody hopping away from the middle groove, abandoning Weeks, Carrington, and Justin Ray. The 38 machine is now Vandermeer, accompanied by Finley Fitzsimmons. Go from high all the way to the low line. Now Vandermeet and Fitzsimmons are on a team here tonight. But Matthew Weeks says, you know what? I've got other plans, the number 11 machine. Let's get that middle groove formed up and rocking and rolling once more. 5 laps left to go. And I still think anybody's guess. You've got 22 drivers inside the top 20, I believe. Alex Carr showing involved in a crash. No caution as of yet for the number 1 machine. Hopefully it doesn't. We want to see this thing run green to the end, but no! It'll be punctuated by a caution with David Tooker showing as your race leader. Ron White also showing involved in a crash. Not sure if that's what brought out the caution. Let's take a look at White's point of view. And oh, my. Does he save it? Yes, he does. Ron White in the off-roading number 27 Phantom machine. Well done. Let's see what happened to Alex Carr as well. Carr was way up there, the number 1 machine. Look at him in the inside groove. Tries to come down low, swipes across the front of Silvers. Oh, and just narrowly avoided hitting the inside wall, but I think it was actually Ron White's incident that brought out the caution. A tough one to call. Glad I'm just the broadcaster and not race control, but I think it's going to put us into our first green-white checker attempt of the evening. So it'll be the number 51 receiving the EOL for the lap 90 crash. That'll be Nick Martin being faulted with that one. Let's see. Oh yeah, that was Martin just swiping across the bow there. Easy one to call. Ethan Burrell going absolutely nuts on the YouTube side of things, saying, what did I tell you? David Tooker looking to be in a good spot to make something happen. As, yeah, Trey also points out, went from being wrecked to leading in a matter of 10 minutes. Anything can happen at the Super Speedway, ladies and gentlemen. So this will be our first green-white checker attempt of the evening. Robert Hill Jr. joining us with some wildly inappropriate comments. Now what this means, ladies and gentlemen, if we can take the white flag, we will run this out to the end, despite any on-track shenanigans that may occur. But if we see another big incident come out before the white flag is shown and the leader crosses the line, very important differential there, then we will put it into double overtime. So on and so forth until we get to the triple overtime, our 3 green-white checker attempt. And if we are unable to complete this event green with 3 wide checker attempts, we will end it under caution while drivers sit and think about what they've done to make that happen. So it will be Tooker and Westergreen on the front row. Delph, Vandermeed, your second row. Matthew Weeks and Finley Fitzsimmons, your third row. And I still think anybody's chance of bringing it home. Robert, buddy, you didn't have to delete your message. I just like giving you a hard time. There you go. Robert saying David Tooker is absolutely wonderful in the number 83 machine. Keep an eye on Tooker, but I mean, keep an eye on Westergreen. The 55 machine's been running very strong all night long. Tooker looking for his third win of the season. He won last week at the Music City 200, as well as at the California 200 at Auto Club. While Westergreen looking for his first win, as well as Brad Delph, Michael Vandermeed, Matthew Weeks, Finley Fitzsimmons, all these drivers up here looking for their first win as the iRacing safety car makes its way down pit road, ready to signal. We're going to start things for the final chance, or one of 3 final chances, I should say, if we get to that point, for drivers to take home eternal glory. Good to see Christopher Heller joining us out here. Didn't like seeing his car yeeted around the raceway, but hey, at least it made the TV. Green flag is out. Westergreen still on his middle line. Look at Fitzsimmons hinting at going wide in the 06 machine. He's got his teammate Vandermeed right in front of him, so you may see those two working together, but here comes Matthew Weeks along the inside line. Excuse me, boys, it's my time to shine. He's chased by Carrington and McCorkle. As behind him, carnage strikes. Where's the caution? That would be the most egregious lack of caution I have ever seen. Rogers trying to get it going. Where's the caution? They're still crashing behind him. Finally, after David Tooker is involved in an incident, Best Cannons, we find him missing a wheel. Tooker off track. Ooh. Well, see, that's the wrong way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's the wrong button. My apologies. I'm getting excited up here in the booth. So we're watching Fest Can, the number 89 machine. He comes down when number 4 comes up, hooks the 25, and around they go. Now, I don't think this is what brought out the caution, though. It's further ahead where David Tooker. What happens here? Does he get a shove from Delph? Yeah, he gets pushed around by Delph. I think that's what actually brought out the caution. So Tooker, how many times have we seen that, ladies and gentlemen? We're just innocent bystanders getting punted out of the way. And once again, Tooker got turned, having all sorts of luck besides the type he needed. Now, I don't know what race control is going to do here, because I don't think it was the first big incident that brought out the caution. I think it was the second one where Tooker got turned. Got a few drivers coming down pit road. Not sure if that was for damage or strategy, maybe? Adam Tepe, McAllister, Silvers, Tucker, Carr, all down pit road. What an absolute bloodbath here at the end. This puts us into our second green-white checker attempt of the night. I was very afraid there they were going to take the white flag before the caution came out. Now, we use mostly the built-in iRacing officials here to make those calls on when the caution comes out. Oh, we get a report no further action. Multiple crashes with the admin yellow. So the admins did throw the caution after a long delay, so the iRacing officials completely missed the call. Our admins, our race control up in the booth, Joseph Penn and Johnny Eckert making the call to throw the caution, but unfortunately not before Tucker went for his own wild ride. Tucker still on pit road. He's going to have some lengthy repairs, I would imagine. As I think we're down to about 20, 21 drivers on the lead lap. As that is our fourth caution of the evening. So now it'll be Weeks and Carrington on the front row, both looking for their first win. McCorkle and Westergreen, the second row, also looking for their first win. And then Delph and Ray, your third row. If you can guess what I'm about to say, you're probably right, because they too are looking for their first win. Drivers trying to get themselves gridded back up for our second green-white checker attempt of the night. Tucker has made his way back out on track, but he'll be now running 22nd after being a fan favorite and an odds-on favorite to bring home yet another win here at the All-American ARCA Series. Let's see, do we have time for another big incident? What do we think, fans? Are we going to take the checkered flag under green flag conditions? Or are we going to go into our third green-white checker attempt of the evening? Now, in the past, it's usually been the top spots, the top 5, top 10 are usually the cleanest places to be, the safest places to be. But that has not been the case here at Talladega, where it has been a meat grinder up front. About to go green, here we go, for what could be the final time of the evening. Green flag is out. Away they go. Carrington and Weeks on the front row. But Westergreen and McCorkle right behind are going to have something to say about it. Ooh, Brad Delph getting a little bit close to the apron there. Now the question is, what's going to happen? Or are we going to see another yellow flag thrown as here comes Fitzsimmons making big moves? Drivers trying to shove each other out of the way. Caution has been thrown to the wind more often than the caution flag has been thrown. And here comes Fitzsimmons working the high line, and we're going to go into double overtime as they once again wad up behind the race leaders. Devin Scroggins involved in that one, as well as Ron White somehow involved. Let's take a look, see what happened to Scroggins. He's in the bright yellow machine. He may have come down. Oh, Ron White just gets turned around maliciously. Silvers gets pulverized. The ARCA breaks in full effect. Who was that guy? Please, hold on, gentlemen. You're going to want to sit down for this one, because you are about to witness ARCA magic. All right, check out what's going on in front of you. Big crash, big crash. Do we have a lift? Not enough. No, he does a good job. He gets on the brakes, but man, Ron White absolutely punted there. One more time for the fans at home. Let's see what happened to Ron White. He's careening, and an insult to injury, just absolutely punted. As we go into our third green-white checker attempt of the evening. And the race that just keeps on going. And the field rapidly dwindling. Right now it shows 15 drivers in the lead lap, but we got a few guys. White, Martin, Terrell, Rogers all down pit road. I don't know how many we're going to have running at this point. I believe this is our fifth caution of the evening. Yes, it is. And our final green-white checker attempt. So if, and that is a massive if, ladies and gentlemen, if we can make it to the end without any big incidents before the white flag is thrown, we'll finish this thing under green flag conditions. But if, and more likely, we see the caution come out before the white flag is thrown and the leader crosses the line, we will end this bad boy under caution. So it'll be Carrington and Weeks on the front row, Fitzsimmons, Westergreen your second row, McCorkle and Hill your third row. How on earth did Robert Hill Jr. get back up into sixth? The four-tire strategy working well for the Canadian. This will be our final restart attempt of the evening. Now, I believe this may be a single file restart. Drivers may have had the 2-wide restart option taken away from them, perhaps? Not entirely sure. We know from Gareth McAllister's point of view, it says single file, but it looks like drivers possibly grading up double file? I don't think the drivers fully know what's happening. But the pace car is going to come in. And I guess double file is the answer. Man, what happened there? Carrington didn't get a good launch at all. They're surely about to crash. Fitzsimmons in the middle of it. Oh, how did we not crash there? An absolute butchered start by several competitors. Right as we panned away, I swear I saw a crash about to happen. Is that David Tooker? How on earth is he still getting back up here? But David Westergreen showing as your race leader, not having any support. He's trying to get Carrington to catch up to him. As here comes Matthew Weeks in the inside line. Cody McCorkle also on the inside line. Westergreen gets enveloped from both high side and low. McCorkle struggling to hold on to it. Getting all sorts of squirrely here. Oh, what is going to happen? Will they take the white flag? As look at that, Weeks hard in the outside wall, but the white flag is out. No caution, we're 4 wide at Talladega. They're about to completely wad it up. Carrington gets a bump, gets into Vandermeet. Around goes Carrington. Somehow Westergreen cleared. There goes McCorkle, gets to number 1. There goes David Tooker. Everyone's wadding it up. What is happening here tonight? David Westergreen looking good to bring it home at the end. He's got about a quarter of a second over Justin Ray. Brad Delp, a half second behind your race leader. Westergreen looking fantastic to pick up his first win of the season. It's been a long time coming, but not all is out for Justin Ray. He's got plenty of time to punt Westergreen. We've seen it countless times. Westergreen gonna get robbed at the line. Here comes Justin Ray. Westergreen gives him a tap. SoundCloud Silvers gets into Ray. What is happening? Who's it going to be? It's Brad Delp at the line. Justin Ray, David Westergreen. And the most violent performance we've ever seen at a super speedway. We have sacrificed bodywork. We have sacrificed race control's wits. And oh my goodness, are we going to have some hurt feelings after tonight, ladies and gentlemen? absolute violence here tonight. As Brad Delph, though, he's going to enjoy the moment. Number 14 machine finishing 15 spots higher. And absolutely excited. There's Justin Ray, the 38 machine, also burning it down. As let's get some of our drivers queued up and ready for the waiting room. We're still waiting on Justin Ray. We're waiting on Brad Delph. Look at the Porsche team celebrating. I guess I was going to say like it's their first win, and in that case it is. We've got Justin Ray and I think Brad Delph just living in the moment here tonight. Thoroughly pumped to be here. As let's start to get some of these drivers up here into victory lane. Up first, David Westergreen, the number 55 machine, a longtime friend, another great broadcaster in your own right, and a heck of a wheelman out there in the most violent race I've ever called.
I don't know about that. It was a pretty normal Talladega race, man. We were really clean for 80-something laps, and it just kind of got crazy at the end. That's how Talladega goes.
Now, do you think the drivers were starting to get a little bit of aggressive? Because I truly, my friend, I haven't seen so much door banging with 15 laps left to go in a long time.
I didn't notice it. We were pretty solid. I got run into going to pit road one time, but yeah, everything was clean on my end. I had a really good time for the most part, leading that early in the race, and I kind of had to play catch up in that second run, but it wasn't too bad there at the end. I felt like we were just too aggressive in the back. The front was really good.
Yeah, it seems to kind of be a common occurrence, I think. Now, David, we've seen you run the middle line pretty dominantly here tonight. Is that where you felt it was fastest, or is that where you're able to find guys to link up with and, guys you can trust to keep pushing forward?
Funny you say that. I had a shout out my teammate DJ Weeks. He was right there with me on the outside lane, and we were trying to control the race the whole way through. It was really nice to have a teammate there, and when I lost him, that's when I kind of lost the lead and wasn't able to stay up front as well. But when I got back to the front there at the end after that green flag pit stop mishap, I was on the top with David Tooker, and shout out to him because that was a good run we had. And yeah, I got the lead there coming to the white, and I was like, all right, we got it, and not enough of them wrecked. I needed a caution before because I had the lead on the back straightaway with 2 to go. I needed them to wreck then, and they didn't. So I feel like I did everything I could at least, and led a lot of laps, dominated. They knew I was here. That's all I can do. Shout out to my outlaw teammates and Johnny Eckert in the booth, and Mike Husby, Adam Tepe. We worked together as much as we could, but hated it for everybody who got caught up in all the crap. And I don't know. I coming to it, I felt like I could maybe give one block, and I did. And Justin got to my inside, and then it was all over. So.
Well, David, great run out there, my friend. Always a great time talking to you. And you're right, that 55 machine was out front for a very large portion of the race. Getting that TV time in, which we both know is important. And who would you like to give a quick shout out to, friends, family, sponsors that helped you get out here today?
Just the guys at Outlaw Racing, and then come check me out at ARCA on Monday nights. That's where I do broadcasting right now, and Monday we're running the COT one last time, so come check it out. I'll be in that race and kind of doing a Wally Dallenbach style, where I'm driving and doing some commentating, so it should be fun.
Awesome. David, congratulations, my friend. Always a good time, and glad to see you back up here in Victory Lane.
Well, not Victory Lane, but close enough, man. We'll take it. We'll take an interview.
Close. You're on the outskirts. That's... All right, David. Appreciate it, my friend.
Later.
That was David Westergreen finishing third here tonight after leading a large portion of the race. But now we've got Justin Ray in the 38 Special Machine. Justin, looks like a little bit of scuffs and bruises on the 38, but still able to pull out a second place here tonight.
Yeah, finally. It's been a long time. I've had a bunch of close calls, and tonight it finally happened.
Yeah, it seemed like it went well. I mean, did you have a strategy coming into tonight? Were you trying to play it safe? Were you trying to get up front early? What was the call you were trying to make?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to play it safe. Just ride around in the back and try to save a little bit on fuel, see what it would do, but and try to make a run there at the end, which it turn out to be caution after caution after caution. I'd move up and back down, but I was able to play it smart, and right there at the end, it just happened to open up for me. So
Yeah, the C's part is we're watching the replay. We can see where you got the little bit of damage. And first of all, thank you for running the Team Goon Squad logo on that back right quarter panel. I didn't
absolutely
didn't realize you were doing that, and we'll have to send you your contingency check after this one because I mean
awesome.
it's been since Daytona where you finished sixth and kind of a spree of bad luck. I mean, you seem pretty comfortable at super speedway. So is it kind of like, are you good at high speed chess? What is it out there?
Yeah, I've I've had a lot, like you said, since Daytona. That's been a long time. I'm able to figure out the draft, better, and I've only been in the league now for 2 years, so 2 seasons. I'm still learning the car. It's weird to me, but I'm trying to get it under control. So normal mile and a half, they do drag me down a little bit, but yeah, the super speedways, I'm able to read the draft, and that's one thing I stay in the back for. Try to see how it's going to draft, to the car in front of me. If I try to pull out, see how long it's going to take. So I like super speedway stuff though. It's a rush, especially at the end.
Well, good to see you back up here. Good to see you developing the driver. Always a great time talking to you, and very good to have you back up here in the podium booth, or at least for the first time this season. Now, Justin, I know you haven't had as much practice as some of the other guys, but who do you want to give those shout-outs to here tonight that helped you get up here in that second place spot?
Um, I definitely like to thank my sponsors, Littoral Pest Solution. Um, they've been with me for about 2 seasons, so thank them. Thank you yourself for doing this. I know it's a lot on y'all. Team Goon Squad and Casey and Joseph and Johnny and everybody up in race control. I really do appreciate it, and definitely like to thank Mr. Silvers there for hit me with about an 80-mile-an-hour difference at the end to kind of give me that last little push to get across the line. But yeah, everybody that puts this stuff on, it's awesome to do it every week. I know it's a lot of work, so we definitely appreciate y'all.
Awesome, Justin. Great job tonight, man. I hope to see this of one of many more to come.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All
That was Justin Ray finishing second. And up next, the man of the hour, Brad Delph. Somehow parting the seas, surviving here tonight at Talladega, and bringing home the prestigious win.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of. I can't even believe I survived that race, let alone won it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a race of attrition, a race of luck, and playing the old draft lottery here at the Super Speedway. Brad, I mean, the best finish I think you've had this season. Is this the best finish so far you've had here at All-American ARCA?
Definitely the best finish. I think I finished third or fourth one other race. Just kind of found myself in the right place at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Brad, was there any sort of strategy I mean, I guess at the beginning there was where you were starting to slowly move your way up, but what happens when you start seeing the cautions fly? I mean, what goes on behind the visor when you start thinking, what are we going to do here with 3 to go?
Yeah, kind of my whole race, I was just trying to keep the car clean, stay out of trouble. These guys were racing three wide, really clean. It was impressive. I got up there and dabbled it in a little bit on the high side and found the high side actually worked, which is how I kind of got up to the front in the first place. And then a caution came out and started falling back from there a little bit. But, just got lucky after that. Just try to, kept the car straight basically. And, just got lucky, and the momentum carried me to the win.
Now, talking about momentum, you've got a whole lot of it, my friend. What's the plan for later on the season? Any tracks you're particularly pumped about, anxious about? What are you feeling going forward from here?
I don't know. I'll play it by ear and take one race at a time.
Awesome, Brad. Well said. Congratulations up here in the top spot for the first time this season. I hope to see you carry that momentum forward because it's always a great time watching your race. And you've got the pleasure, the distinction, my friend, of the final send-offs. Any friends, family, sponsors you want to give a shout-out to?
Everyone supported me in doing iRacing. My family, my dad sponsors me, and Uncle Jerry and Aunt Diane that watch it every week. And just really appreciate those guys.
Awesome, Brad. Good job, my friend. Congratulations, and we hope to see you back up here next week.
10-4, have a good night.
Well, sir. And that will do it here for the All-American ARCA Talladega 249. We had big pushes, big wrecks, and a first-time finisher this season with Brad Delph taking the top spot, Justin Ray finishing second, and David Westergreen rounding out the podium. As always, on behalf of the All-American ARCA Series, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name is James East. Thank you all so much for tuning in, spending a Friday evening with us, and we will see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.